evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Flatout Racing Network's coverage of Talladega Nights, the Haunted Team event. You're about to see something you've never seen before here on this channel. It's the first time that we've ever called an event like this. I've had the privilege of racing a couple of these events, but it's going to be kind of cool to see it from the other side and see what these drivers are able to do here tonight. 8 teams, 5 drivers on each team, most cumulative points for those 5 drivers at the end of the night will win the team championship. I'm Seth Cole alongside of Michael Norman. And Michael, when you kind of consider what's going to be going down here, it's not your typical restrictor plate driver mindset for these guys here tonight, because you're in essence forced to work with somebody tonight. It's not kind of a frenzy where you find them situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's going to be different about this. Like, it's going to be interesting to see people who you probably never expected really to get along have to get along in this race. You know, it's going to make pit strategy interesting. It's going to make just the strategy in general different. You know, we'll see if somebody wants to stay in the back. We might see the whole team go in the back, and it's going to be interesting to watch them kind of come through the field here when it counts the most.
Should be interesting. We'll see how it's going to go down. We're going to have a little graphic for you to show you the color codes, if you will, kind of maybe a spotter screen of the particular cars you'll see out there for the respective teams, as well as the drivers. And we are also going to have the drivers introduce themselves here tonight in those respective team colors. So if you'll bear with us in just 1 minute, we're about to give you the teams of the evening here for tonight's team event. And now it's time to find out the drivers that'll be racing for those respective teams here this evening at Talladega Nights Superspeedway.
Number 43, Bob Dixon, Macon, Georgia.
Gary Hauser, number 44, Mount Sterling, Kentucky.
Tom Dixon, number 45, Chevrolet Batman car from Byron, Georgia.
Number 46, Bernie Mops, Palm Coast, Florida, driving the white Dodge.
47, Slingshot Gary Mingus from Tallahassee, Florida, driving the white Dodge team.
Garland Oaks, number 50.
Number 50, Garland Oaks from Martinsville, Virginia.
Sean Dotson from Fenton, Michigan, driving the number 51 black Chevrolet.
Number 52, Zach Roberts, driving for the black Chevrolets.
Number 53, the leader of the black team Chevy, Ulysses Sandoval from Baltimore, Maryland.
Number 54, Dave Hubbard Jr. in the black Chevrolet for Team Black from Rochester, New Hampshire. Big shout out to all my buddies and all that good stuff.
Denny Carroll driving the number 70 Ford Mustang for Big Stone Gap Racing.
Randy Raw driving number 71. Shout out to my sons Christian, Corey, my grandkids Adrian, Asher, and Asa.
Driving number 72, Brian Lovell. Go Team Pink.
Greg Lovell from Big Stone Gap, Virginia, driving the number 73 Ford Mustang. Good luck to all you guys, and good luck to Big Stone Gap Racing.
Dan Lovell in the number 74, sitting pretty in pink tonight, and the Ford cars. Good luck to everybody. Shout out to my wife, Bonnie, and my family watching. Good luck to all you racers.
Driving the 80 silver Chevy, Mark Paglia from Gainesville, Georgia. Thank you, Jeffrey, for putting this on.
80s, number 81 silver Chevy, Chuck McClure, Moundsville, West Virginia.
Bobby Farrell, Frederica, Delaware, and the number 82 Team Silver Chevrolet.
Jeffrey Elliott from Mooresville, North Carolina, driving for the silver Chevy, number 83. Good luck to every one of you 39 drivers. Thanks for the broadcast. Let's have a stellar race.
In the 84, Craig Hagley out of Canaan Valley, West Virginia. Let's have a good race tonight, guys.
Keith Bynum driving the Team Red 332 Pontiac Trans Am Firebird. For Team Red, good luck.
Nate Balser driving the 333
Team Pontiac out of Seattle, Washington.
Josh Slocum, 334, Red Fire Chicken, Rochester, New York. Good luck, everybody.
Alex Moe from Southern California driving the 335 Red Pontiac team.
Robert Breedlove driving the 336 from Lancaster, South Carolina, driving the Red Firebird. I want to thank Jeffrey and Talladega Nights for putting this on.
Mike Mangialardi driving the 442 Orange Honda out of Federal Way, Washington. Shout out to my friends watching at the Rainier Room tonight. Good luck, all teams.
Also in an Orange Honda, it's Chris Elliott in the 442 out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Good luck, everybody.
Andrew Miller, 444 out of Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, also representing the Orange Hondas.
Stephen Brandstetter from Randland, Oklahoma, driving the 445 Orange Honda.
Driving Anchor 446, Pat McCarsky from Brownsburg, Indiana.
Driving number 662 for the gold team is Graham McDonald.
Driving 663 for the gold team, Doug Hewlick from Plum, Pennsylvania. Let's go. Have a good night, guys.
Driving the 664 for the gold team, Chris Van Vliet from Annapolis, Maryland. Shout out to my family and friends watching the race, Cindy, Casey, Maddie, and my loser friend Brian from Pennsylvania.
Driving the 665 Outlaw, Doug First, Sonia, Ontario. Good luck, gold.
Driving the 667 Ray Hewlick Jr. from Apollo, Pennsylvania.
John Godfrey driving the 880 Team Evil Blue Chevy.
Rodney Sullins from Bentonville, Arkansas, driving the number 881 Evil Blue Chevrolet Camaro.
Greg Palmer out of Lewis, Delaware, driving the 882 Evil Blue Chevy. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid.
Kelly Causey from Agricola, Mississippi, driving the 883 Evil Blue Chevy.
Ken Roberts driving the 884 Evil Blue Chevy out of West Bend, Wisconsin.
40 drivers here tonight, 8 respective teams. Only one team can win at the end of the night. Good luck to all you drivers. Looking forward to this one. Should be a lot of fun for everybody watching at home.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Be very, very afraid.
User was moved.
Good luck qualifying, guys.
All right, guys, we'll go to qualifying camp. What's a couple minutes?
All right,
pretty good group of drivers out here. It's going to be 40-car field, Seth, and I don't know, all these different people put together with the different teams, makes, manufacturers, and colors. Almost seems like an over-the-top IROC event, but not even. Oh well, I say over-the-top because of how many cars there are. Because IROC usually only has 12 cars, but I'm excited.
Yeah, and IROC only had really one driver representing the color. We got 5 drivers representing each color here tonight. Now, obviously, 40 drivers here this evening. There were a couple of drivers that could not make it. So drivers were not entered into the event were put into a queue as fill-ins, as alternates. Jeffrey Elliott filling in at the number 83 for Grant Wesley. Chris Van Vliet in the 664 Gold Dodge. He's filling in for Javier Negron. And then Outlaw is filling in the 665, also a Gold Dodge for Douglas Firth. So we were guaranteed to have a full field here tonight. Some people unable to make it. They had the alternates in place to be able to fill it in. What about the fill-in drivers? Do you kind of think that maybe a little bit of a curveball, not only for them, but maybe also for the respective teams? Because I asked this due to the fact that if we look at the black Chevrolet team coming into this one, Garland Oaks, Sean Dotson, Zach Roberts, Ulysses Sandoval, and Dave Hubbard, they've got chemistry because the last time Talladega Nights hosted a team event, they won. They won collectively as a team. They're back together again. They're able to go back to the drawing board of what they did the last team event. But you look at some of these other teams that have these fill-in drivers, they've got to kind of maybe in these first few laps build chemistry with that driver. Maybe somebody that they haven't worked with very often in the past.
I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch either way, Seth. And, to be able to get people that and work well with, that's just a small advantage there. It's funny how things work out that way when you think about it. But it's gonna be it's going to be interesting to watch to see just how well they can come through the field. And more importantly, I see that they're actually doing like a qualifying session rather than just group, quick qualifying auto queue, because I really wanted that pole again. but it's going to be interesting. So now when people qualify, they're going to be all over the place. You're not going to see all unless they somehow miraculously do it that way. You're not going to see all 5 members of a team lined up nose to tail or side by side.
Exactly. It's going to take maybe some drivers that are really good at qualifying and some drivers not all that good at qualifying some time to have to find each other. Ideally, you'd love everybody to be able to qualify up inside of the top 10, establish the front of the field in the early going. But like you said, with the qualifying session that's going on right now, we could see a bunch of drivers from each respective team intermingled in the field and having to get themselves organized. I mean, you think about it. Let's just give like an example. Let's say that a silver Chevrolet qualifies at the back and most of the others qualify up at the front. They might have to work with another team like the Pink Fords or the Red Firebirds to work their way up to the front, get up to their teammates. So it's a bit of a scramble for some of those guys that are trying to either get up to or maybe fall back to their respective teammates to be able to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be interesting.
As this qualified session's going on, we're checking here in the chat. A lot of people rooting for different teams here this evening. We got Zachary Morse. He's in there rooting for, looks like the number 54. That would be Dave Hubbard Jr. with the black Chevrolet, the defending champions in the last team event. Bobby Carroll rooting for Team Pink. He's rooting for Denny Carroll in the number 70. We got Brandon Lampard. He's rooting for the number 334. That would be Josh Slocum in the red. Did he call it Fire Chicken in driver intros?
I don't
never
remember.
heard of that one before. It's a Pontiac Firebird, but he called it the Fire Chicken. That's interesting. We know somebody that runs Pontiac Firebirds online in other series that we're in. I'm gonna have to ask him if he's ever heard of that term, the Fire Chicken, because that was one that kind of caught me by surprise. And I want to know if that's a well-known term for that particular manufacturer. Going to be really interesting to see who tonight is going to be able to take that checkered flag. Now, we are going to tell everybody. We're going to tell you this ahead of time because I did talk with race officials before we came on the air. We're going to try to do our best eyeballing it to who we think the team champions are. However,
and by we he means him.
Michael will squint. But yeah, we ended up finding out that obviously here tonight, not only is there a battle for the team championship here for the respective team victory, there's also a cash prize on the line. $125 will be paid out to the winning team, $25 per driver. So a little bit more extra incentive, but also race officials will take the opportunity this evening and into tomorrow to look back and see if there were any penalties that need to be assessed. A driver that we see finish up inside of the top 5, top 10, something mid-race, even towards the end of the race, might have them put EOL to the back of the field. That would obviously affect the overall team points. So we're going to try and tonight see if we can give you guys an idea of who the team champions are, but we will not be able to give you an official word on that because that will obviously be announced tomorrow once the admins have been able to go back and review everything. Another thing that we're going to be seeing here tonight as well, Michael, is the fact that pit road. Don't necessarily know if green flag pit stops are going to come into play. I think it's safe to say we're going to see each respective team come down pit road together, but let's say if we have 2 or 3 respective teams come down together, that could make things very interesting because, we're going to have the intermingling of the different colored cars and might have the extra incentive of, well, that guy is going up against my team. I want to push the issue just a little bit here on pit road entry, try and get that spot for him because that could be important towards the end of the race.
Yeah, we've seen just in the regular races how pit road will come into handy. So it could either make or break your race. So they've got to be careful when coming out.
And they also got to be careful because this is Talladega Nights Superspeedway. It's a super speedway, which means the big one could be looming around every corner. As a matter of fact, I believe they had a fun race last night here and they put the replay out on their Facebook page. I'm pretty certain out of all the drivers that were in the lead pack, maybe 2 or 3 of them got through unscathed. I mean, I've seen the big one before. This was the huge one. Just about everybody was collected up. A few cars went up and into the catch fence. Here tonight, think about this. Let's say at the beginning of the race, a wreck happens, and just like that, 2, 3 of your drivers of your respective team are gone. They cannot continue. They've DNF'd. What do you do as those other 2 drivers? Because that's a lot of points you got to make up for the other drivers that aren't able to be out there working with you.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least. And friends are where you find them. And, you know, there's a question I wanted to point out to you, Seth, is would you treat the first part of this race as just a normal super speedway race, ergo racing, not really trying to line up with your teammates until it counts towards the very end? Or what would your strategy be for a 66 lap race?
Well, as I said, I have had the opportunity to race here in Talladega Nights in a team race. Ended up winning a team race, as a matter of fact. Our broadcast colleague Jessica Shelton was a part of the team as well. I think we finished 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 7th for our respective team. But we established right away. We tried to get hooked up as soon as possible and try and establish our foothold in the field right in the early going. Work together in terms of strategy of when we were going to come to pit road. Obviously, you know, at certain points, one of our teammates was out in front, so he would have been shorter on fuel. We were all working about where their fuel number was to be able to then come to pit road with them. Another thing that also is interesting about team racing is when you are that 4th or 5th driver in line, say you've got all of your team cars lined up nose to tail, that 4th or 5th car in line is a key communicator because you are telling everybody else ahead of you what line is moving, what color is particularly moving in which lane, because sometimes drivers and teams, they will focus out a certain colored team as their main adversaries. And so you are feeding all of that information to the drivers up ahead. So if you get caught out by another color team that is working together, they're able to react and be able to maintain their track position. Obviously, you end up probably losing a lot of track position, but you keep your team in the maximum point situation to be able to end up winning the championship by the end of the night. So for those that don't know, the program that is used here for voice communication, TeamSpeak, there is a whisper feature, and I guarantee you every single one of the respective colored teams here tonight have every single one of their 4 teammates keyed up on whisper, getting ready to put communication to the test here tonight, if they can be able to bring about that magic formula to end up all finishing up front and collectively get the most points here this evening. I'm going to put a disclaimer out here for both of us too, Michael, for everybody watching here this evening. As you heard in driver intros, all of the different teams, they are in numerical order as far as what particular color and manufacturer they are driving. For example, the white Dodges are 43, 44, 45, 46, and 47. If we have an incident or something, we'll try and identify them right away. Might not be that easy, though. We're probably going to have to adhere to our driver list.
Seth, I need to point out real quick, there is a little bit of lag on your end over the broadcast here in the TeamSpeak. Just wanting to point that out to you, just in case there was something going on.
Okay, has it fixed? Because you were lagging on my end as well.
It did.
Okay, I guess we're good to go. Probably was a TeamSpeak issue. All right, we're going to be bringing the grid off of your screen. We'll adhere to that during the course of this race in case you forget what respective team each driver is racing for. But happy hour is winding down, and we're getting ready to get these drivers going. Michael, can you give us like an outlook of some of the drivers that are going to be starting up at the front of the field for this one?
Let's see here. Give us an outlook for some of the drivers starting up towards the front, you know. Well, we got Rodney Sullins. He's no stranger to go into victory lane on a plate track much similar to this. Nate Balzer, Ken Roberts, Chuck McClure. You see a lot of those guys race on the Thursday night broadcast, Seth. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. These guys, they may start up front, but It depends on how this track works in terms of the 3 wide, 2 wide, which lane is the better lane, the more preferred lane to be in. And, you know, Randy Luigi, yes, I had to put that in there.
Of course you
did. Starting 6th, I think he raced for the first time, at least since I've been helping you broadcast on last Thursday. So this is going to be fun. You can't really pick one person or one team, I feel like, as a broadcaster up here, because you know that it's gonna be interesting and it's gonna be all over the place.
I heard you name off Nate Balser. He's with the red Firebirds. Chuck McClure with the silver Chevys.
I gotta ask one more thing.
Go ahead.
And what is with these camera angles?
I'm not really sure. But I heard you name off 2 drivers, Rodney Sullins and Ken Roberts. They're both with the Evil Blue here this evening, and so an opportunity for maybe those 2 to be able to work together as the field files off of pit road.
This is interesting, and I just want to say this for the fact I have not seen, and yes, I've not seen it. You can exclude Matt McIntyre from it. I have not seen a Pontiac version of these cars.
The Firebird, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I can obviously tell it looks like it's based off of the Camaro, but I've never seen this before.
I believe you're correct. I believe that the Firebird template is off of the Camaro template. We've got, I believe, Camaros, Firebirds. I think we've got the older Chevrolet Camaros in the field. We've got Fords. We've got Dodges. I think we've got Hondas, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, we do.
Yeah, I've seen the Hondas. Oh, this is just weird looking.
Well, as you can see, all the different colors intermingled. Kind of interesting, you know. This is a Halloween event. Kind of makes you think of a bowl of M&Ms, maybe that you'd give out to kids at trick or treat. Or if you are that kid, you would get a trick or treat.
You would get a trick or treat.
Just one M&M.
I don't know about you, Seth. Sometimes.
You go trick or treating as a kid?
I sure did, but I never came home and said I got a trick or treat.
What's your favorite candy to get?
That's a tough one because I loved all of them.
I don't know why, and I have not seen a box of them in years. I love Nerds. Nerds were great, especially the grape flavored. That was my favorite thing to get at Halloween for trick or treat.
That hurt my teeth a lot, honestly. And I want to say I love just growing up. I was one of those kids growing up where if someone left a bowl of candy outside their house and said take one, I took a handful.
Yeah, if they weren't there, who knew?
Exactly.
Ring doorbells did not exist at the time. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. The haunted team event for Talladega Nights is underway. And it's the 881 of Rodney Sullins who's going to lead them into turn number 1. Now we're going to kind of see the shuffling here of
already
drivers trying to find their teammates.
Yep, already 3 wide. You got 2 of the, oh Lord, they're not all the same color. I guess the gray and teal team, I don't remember what team that's called. I apologize. I am not good at retaining information.
Silver Chevys.
Okay, the silver Chevy is already trying to go up to the outside, and there goes one of the pink cars. That is the 71 up to the outside to try to block that momentum.
Randy Waugh in that 71. You are never going to let that one go, are you?
No. Unless he physically tells me to stop, which I'm not really even making fun of him. I'm just literally adding Luigi to the back of his name.
one of those gray Chevrolets or silver Chevrolets that jumped up there to the top was 83 of Jeffrey Elliott. Ooh, a lot of movement there in the middle of the pack.
There was, and these camera angles don't make it so difficult to see.
Jeffrey Elliott.
Somebody already lost the pack, Seth. I don't know if he started from pit road.
That's Gary Mingus. Yeah.
Let's see. Did he miss the start or did he maybe miss a shift? I don't think he just didn't get going unless he restarted in third gear or started in third gear.
Losing touch with the pack. He'll hope for a yellow flag and hope that none of his white Dodge teammates are collected up in it to be able to catch back up as Robert Breedlove going to move to the front there in the red Firebird. He got
His teammates are kind of strung all over this pack.
He got pushed up there by the 81 of Chuck McClure, one of the silver Chevrolets. I mentioned about Jeffrey Elliott being one of the alternates that filled in here tonight, the guy that he filled in for Grant Wesley in our chat here tonight. Nice to see you, Grant. Javier Negron as well, who had a fill-in driver for him. That was Chris Van Vliet here this evening in the 664 in our chat also. Appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight as we're just underway, and
I 100% could have made a Jey Uso Yeet reference, but I chose not to.
Look at what we've got here, though, Michael. No teammates right now. You've got the red Firebird, you've got the silver Chevy, the blue evil blue Chevy, the pink Ford, the white Dodge, and the yellow. What manufacturer is that? The Gold. I'm sorry, the Gold Dodge. Yeah. They're all right now, 1st through 6th. There's no team cars working together right now in the top 5.
Oh, I mean, I did tell you that the first part of this race could very well be kind of like a feel out your car kind of race. Oh, but look at the 3rd lane on the outside. Look at all those orange cars up there.
Those orange Hondas, they were hooked up at the beginning. I saw them working their way up on the middle line. Now, as you mentioned, they've jumped up to the 3rd lane. They're currently being led. Well, they were being led. They've now kind of shuffled back down to the bottom by Mike Mangialardi in the 442. I believe that is the 423 right behind him.
Pink Fords are close to being up there. They're only missing one of them at this moment. You got 3 on the inside, 1 on the outside, and then 3rd one's a little bit further back on the inside lane.
All 5 of the orange Hondas are hooked together. You got 4 of the black Chevrolets down here on the inside line. Remember, the defending champs from the last team race. That is the 50 of Garland Oaks leading that group right now. Right behind him is the 52 of Zach Roberts. Trying to make out who the 3rd and 4th cars are. Looks like the 53 and then the 54 behind. That is Ulysses Sandoval and Dave Hubbard Jr.
Oh, those black is it Black Dodge, right?
They're Chevrolets.
Black Chevys are hooked up on the bottom lane.
Yep. They got a couple of cars breaking them up back to their other fellow black Chevrolet. That would be Sean Dotson in the 51. There you see him now coming in on the right side of your screen as we move back up to the front. And those pink Fords you were talking about, 2 of them there and a 3rd one to the outside. If they end up getting clear here of, I think that's the 73 of Greg Lovell, do they move up to the top and pick up their teammate?
Well, they almost tried to go 3 wide there for a second. You figured that they probably would, but it's all best to see. It looks like the inside lane, Seth, is the lane that's really advancing right now.
As of right now, you are correct. You've got, right now, the red Thunderbird of Robert Breedlove out in front. You got to go all the way back to around the 14th position, last time by at least, to find the next one out of that team. Or, I'm sorry, correction, the 8th position, where you would find Nate Balser. And then I believe Keith Bynum is the next of that team in line, back in the 11th, 12th position. We'll wait and see where scoring updates it. There you see, there's the pink Fords. As soon as they got clear of Greg Lovell, they jumped up there to the top side, and now a couple more pink Fords going to be not too far behind them. They're broken up by one of the gold Dodges and one of the orange Hondas.
A very interesting way to call a broadcast.
It definitely is. Like I said, it's a lot easier, even though I named off all the things that could go wrong as a driver, it's a lot easier to drive in this event than it is to call it, because there are so many drivers, so many cars to keep track of. But right now, up front, it is the pink Fords. Brian Lovell right now leading that group. He's got Denny Carroll and Greg Lovell right behind him in the 70 and the 72. Then behind them, you got the 664, Chris Van Vliet, one of the fill-in drivers here tonight. He's the highest running for that team, up inside of, well, actually, no, just outside of the top 10 last time by in 11th place.
Inside lane still seems to be the lane where it's at right now. A couple of the red Pontiacs on the inside lane trying to get up to their teammate that's leading this race right now. But here come those black Chevrolets.
But for those that might be wondering, yes, bonus points do actually come into play for the team total at the end of the night. You get, I believe it's 5 points for a lap led and 5 extra points if you lead the most laps. It goes off of the classic NASCAR scoring system. So drivers here tonight. Their team totals will be up somewhere in around the mid 500s. Some of them maybe in the lower 600s, depending on how well they do. And you talked about those black Chevrolets on that inside line there, Michael. They're kind of right now just hugging the yellow line, biding their time, and it's working for them because they are steadily making their way to the front.
Yes, they are. Little by little, they are the outside lane trying to get up there. The Ford's now going to be undercut by those, I'm guessing the evil blue Chevrolets up there.
Yep, that would be, I believe, Kelly Causey and Zach, or make that Ken Roberts rather. We got a couple of Roberts side by side there, Zach and Ken, so I was looking at the wrong Roberts. They're trying to get up there to help Rodney Sullins, who right now is just kind of by his lonesome holding down the third position in the 881.
Got a couple of teammates behind him. He could be left out to dry if he makes one bad move.
Good. That's Bob Dixon, Bernie Mobbs for the White Dodges there in the 4th and 5th position. Then behind them, you've got those red Firebirds I was talking about that were working their way up. That would be the 333 and 332, Nate Balser and Keith Bynum. So if those White Dodgers move up to the outside, I think it's pretty safe to say that the Red Thunderbirds will stay to the bottom, move themselves a little bit closer up to their teammate leader, Robert Breedlove. Look at this bedlam back here, though. Look at all this organization back here, or attempting to organize. The silver Chevys are almost got themselves lined up. As a matter of fact, all the Chevys are working together right now up on that top side. The blue and silvers anyway. You got the black Chevys down in the bottom. But this is kind of interesting. Kind of a little bit of maybe co-opetition between the blue and the silver Chevrolets on that second lane to work to the front.
We've seen manufactured teammates before, so definitely going to be no different here, especially with it being this early in the race, Seth. And we also got to think about it too. If these cars have the same fuel mileage as the trucks,
which they do,
then we're going to be closing in on a round of green flag pit stops.
I will put the commentator's curse on your head this time rather than my own, because I didn't bring it up. As you see, Gary Mingus, Slingshot Mingus, about to get lapped after he lost touch with the draft. Obviously, he would end up being in a lucky dog position should a caution come out, but a bit of a hit here in the early going for the White Dodges, because they're going to have a driver right now anchoring down the final position in the running order.
I'm not sure. Does the lucky dog rules go over to this series as well?
It does. I believe it's 2 lucky dogs in this series too, and he's the only one lap down, so he's the only one that would be eligible for the lucky dog. But I mean, the tough break right there is not only does he fall a lap down, but the White Dodgers are kind of broken up. You've only got Dixon and Mobbs up here in the 4th and 5th position. You got to go all the way back to find, I believe, the other 2 right now are Gary Heiser back in 28th and Tom Dixon's back in 39th. So 2 of the White Dodgers up here at the front, but 2 of them are currently running in the final 2 spots in the running order. So they need their fortunes to change.
So does that outside lane right now. Slowly are they inching up on that outside lane. Do we see the other evil blue Chevy pull up to the outside to help out?
And maybe the other silver Chevrolet as well, because you got both the evil blue and the silver Chevrolets working together in that second groove. Rodney Sullins is
right
the
now
3rd car in line. Chuck McClure, the 2nd car in line. Neither one looking like they want to come off the bottom just yet. And Rodney will not be able to. Rodney's going to get boxed in. I believe that the leader of that line, which is Kelly Causey, he's gotten to the right rear quarter panel of Rodney Sullins, so Sullins will not be able to move up. Well, maybe he'll be able to here.
Right now, but I don't think he will.
Nope, they're going to get that run off of 2 and down the back straightaway. The Hondas were looking really good in the early going. They were working the 2nd and then 3rd groove. They've gotten broken up a little bit, kind of mired around the mid-pack area.
Quarter
Black
panel of the leader.
Chevrolets, they've stalled out a bit there on that inside line. Look who else has moved up to that second lane. They're all lined up now, the pink Fords. They're helping those Chevrolets move to the front. As Kelly Causey, I think, is going to lead that lap, and indeed he will. So that is the 2nd lap led here this evening for the blue
3rd lane,
Chevrolets.
maybe, those Fords.
Well, a couple of them did.
Yeah,
Three
they
of
saw
them
the
stayed to the
Dodges
middle.
They saw the Dodges go up there.
Yes, indeed. Gold Dodges moving up to that third line. Kelly Causey going to move down to the bottom. Now, this is interesting because people would think, well, why did the 883 move down to the inside line? What's the purpose of that? Why didn't he stay up there with his teammate? Like I said, you get bonus points for a lap led. Sullins has already led a lap. That's 5 points towards Team Blue. Causey's led a lap. That's another 5 points. They're trying to see if Ken Roberts can get up here and lead a lap. That's 15 bonus points right there for Team Blue before we've even reached halfway.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think Roberts led that lap. He did. So well done there on Team Blue. They are racking up the bonus points, which could be very important by the end of the night. But hello, third lane, because those pink Fords that jumped up there to pick up the gold Dodges, they are making hay.
That's what's going to be interesting here. Now we'll see. He pulls down. That's going to make way for that for the silver Chevy to get up here.
That's Jeffrey Elliott leading that line. Another of the blue Chevrolets right behind him, and John Godfrey.
Oh my Lord, Seth! There's something I didn't bring up before that I guess I'll bring up now. So what happens if the majority of your teammates get caught up in an accident?
Then
speaking of
an accident, that was the 80 getting spun around, and we've got a big wreck at the start-finish line. Caution's going to fly for the first time here tonight.
Why did I have to open my mouth?
I don't know. You are full of the commentators' curse tonight. That was Mark Paglia in the 80 for Team Silver that went around first, and a lot of drivers were collected up in that. Question is, for which respective teams were they involved? A couple of the white Dodges back here, Gary Heiser and Tom Dixon. Craig Hagley there for Team Silver, so that's at least 2 of the Silver Chevrolets that were involved. Mike Mangialardi for the orange Hondas. Another orange Honda down the inside line. That's Andrew Miller. It's gonna be hard to tell. I think there's definitely rear. Yeah, that's Mark Paglia, the car that initially got turned around. Rear end damage for him. It's gonna be interesting to look at the replay because some of these cars do not look damaged. They may have been involved, but then again, they might not have. They might have slowed in time to avoid. But Outlaw. Oh, we got a spinner up here. The 72's gotten spun of Randy, or 71 of Randy Waugh got spun over in turn 3.
Might have been just from someone not slowing down enough.
Might have been. Outlaw in a fill-in position there for the Gold Dodges has definitely got some damage on the left side as pit road's open. No surprise, everybody is coming
no
down.
surprise, this was right on the edge. About 2 more laps and they would have had to come in.
Let's go back, take a look at a replay of what happened. One of maybe the toughest spots, maybe outside of an entrance to a corner to avoid a spinning car right in the middle of the tri-oval. It looked like from first glance that Paglia might have cleared himself across somebody's nose and wasn't clear. Yeah, he tries to clear himself down, I think, maybe across the nose of one of the evil blue Chevrolets. Yeah, comes down and pinches. Comes up and collects 2 of his teammates, actually. That was the 84 of Craig Hagley and the 82 of... I'm trying to look at my notes here. Bobby Farrell. So a little friendly fire right there. Looked like one of the pink Fords right there retired out of the race immediately. Was that, I believe, Greg Lovell?
Car could have been killed.
If we can focus on the 73 here, because I believe he was right in the thick of it. We'll look at it again. Right there's the contact. 80 comes up. And, oh yeah, Greg was literally sandwiched in there. Saw the 667 there, Freddie Hewlick Jr. See one of the black Chevrolets there, the 50 of Garland Oaks facing the wrong way. One of the red Thunderbirds I saw there, couldn't make out the number. Tom Dixon there getting the thing refired. There's Craig Hagley getting his car turned back around in the 84. See if we can get another camera angle of it here. Trying to see if we can dissect a couple more of the drivers collected. I think one of the Firebirds that I saw might have been the 333. And that would have been Nate Balser.
A lot of good cars.
Yeah.
A lot of good contenders, but that's what happens when you have a big pack like that.
maybe the 50 of Garland Oaks may have gotten spun by one of his teammates there. Oh, there's the 52 spinning up there as well, so at least two of the black Chevrolets got a piece of this. 52 being Zach Roberts. Like I said here tonight, folks, it may take us a little bit of time to be able to zero in on who's involved because the liveries all look the same. We have to go based off of the number of who is where. Fortunately, we've got this driver sheet that was provided to us. Appreciate that from the Talladega Nights adsmins, but...
Adsmins?
Adsmins. All right, so lights are still
You
on
need to
atop
you need to take a breather.
Yeah. Lights still on there atop the pace car. Like a couple of the blue Chevrolets going to be on the inside line there. Race leader gets lane choice, so no surprise Ken Roberts is going to find himself in front of Kelly Causey
Well,
for this
Seth, I
upcoming
guess
restart.
this begs the question now. Those pink Fords down a person.
Yes.
So what's that going to be for their mentality now?
They're going to have to go for the win, pretty much, I think, because, yeah, that one driver loss, I don't know, do you remember in the classic NASCAR system how much 40th place would have gotten?
I don't know.
So like 3 points or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
I only know the current.
Will tell you that.
Yeah,
they
it
run
probably
off
would.
gold points.
But however much it was that it paid out back in the day, points wise, that is what Greg Lovell is going to have. This is good news for the White Dodges because this puts Gary Mingus back on the lead lap, as Greg Lovell was the only driver, it looks like, to retire from this wreck. Will be interesting to see as well, though, if any drivers for respective team colors are off the pace. Well, got some drivers look like they're going to pit here, coming to the 1 to green. We're going to step aside for a quick FRN race break, and we'll be back here for the restart. You are watching the Haunted Team event here for Talladega Nights at Talladega Nights Superspeedway, working our first caution of the evening. We'll be right back after this short break. Coverage of tonight's broadcast will resume right after this FRN race break. If you enjoy what you're watching tonight, be sure to give this video a like. Also, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that subscribe button, and be sure to hit the bell to be notified when we go live here on the Flatout Racing Network. Coverage of tonight's broadcast will resume in just a few minutes. Hope you continue to enjoy tonight's presentation. All right, lights out atop the Dodge Charger pace car. It's going to make the left-hand turn to pit road. We're getting ready for our first restart of the night, coming to the completion of lap 20 onto 21. Ken Roberts for Evil Blue going to lead us back to green. He'll have the red Firebird of Robert Breedlove, who's led the most laps so far, to his outside. Kelly Causey right behind his teammate there for Evil Blue. And then the silver Chevrolet of Chuck McClure will be on the outside of row number 2. Another silver Chevy on the inside of row 3, that being Jeffrey Elliott. Green flag set to come back out. We're going to see here if, I believe that the White Dodge of Gary Mingus was going to be the recipient of the free pass, but then I'm also wondering if he was involved in the wreck, which made him ineligible. We'll have to wait and see. It could also be the fact that we're waiting until we went green for the admins to add his lap back. So we'll update you on that. Currently, right now, it's still being shown 1 lap down. As look at the movement mid-pack. Just like at the initial start of the race, lots of drivers slicing and dicing, trying to find their color-coded teammates.
Oh, yeah. Gonna have a couple of 2-car tandems up here in terms of teammates.
Talked about those Fords. Down a man with Greg Lovell's retirement. They had a run, thought about a third line. Not going to use it, though. They're going to tuck into that second groove, and here come the Silver Chevys.
Those Silver Chevys really cut it. Listen, the Silver Chevys are about as close as to the Silver Snakes I'm going to get in terms of Legends of the Hidden Temple references, so I'm pulling for those Silver Chevys.
Hey, you know, actually, that's a thing. That's what they should do. They should have Legends of the Hidden Temple teams.
So we got the Blue Barracudas up top.
What would the red be?
Red Jaguars.
Is there a white team?
Not really.
Yellow?
No.
No yellow. What's the other teams that they have? We got 3 wide.
It's Silver Snakes, Purple Parrots, Green Monkeys, Blue Barracudas, and the Red Jaguars. I believe it was those 5 teams.
Okay. Well, we don't have any green and we don't have any purple, so well, I guess Pink's second cousin wasn't removed, I guess, to purple, but I don't think that would quite count.
Second cousin twice removed. Uncles, cousin, brothers.
Yeah, pretty much.
The poison for Cusco. The poison chosen especially to kill Cusco. Cusco's poison.
Well, the poison right now is the middle line because the 2 evil blue Chevrolets, they got left out to dry. They were 3 wide for the lead with the pink Fords up top and the silver Chevys on the bottom, but all of a sudden, that inside line.
Evil blue in the middle.
And I think there's an alliance going on here with the pink Fords and the gold Dodges because this is the second time we've seen them all working together. You got 4 of them there, 2 pink, 2 yellow on that third lane.
Oh, there was an orange team on Legends of the Hidden Temple, but I forgot what it was.
Oh, was there? Oh, well, we got those orange Hondas back there, so that would fit.
I'm trying to remember what it was. It's going to bug me. Orange Iguanas. That's what it was.
Oh, there you go. All right. Got that third line still trying to move. All 5 of the evil blue Chevrolets have made their way into the middle lane. They're not lined up nose to tail. They've got one of the orange Hondas breaking them up there. 4 of them are lined up. The 5th one's got the Honda in between him and his teammates. But still up here.
Oh my lord, those pink Fords were loose right there.
But still up here at the front, the white Dodges, they're really spaced out. You've got Bernie Mobbs right now in the 4th position, but then you got to go all the way back to find the next one, which is Bob Dixon in 16th. And update on the Gary Mingus situation. Mingus did get his lap back. He is back on the lead lap. Bad news for the white Dodges. Gary Heiser has now lost the draft.
4 of the 5 red, red Pontiacs there up here towards the front, but the 5th one is all the way in the back on that outside lane there.
Yep, right now that lone Pontiac, I believe, is Alex Moe. Up here you've got Nate Balser in 3rd, Robert Breedlove in 5th, Keith Bynum in 7th, and Josh Slocum in the 10th position. And you got 3 of them lined up nose to tail. You got the white Dodge of Bernie Mobbs breaking them up on that bottom line. Second groove looks like it's got some momentum. The pink Fords have picked up the evil blue Chevrolets.
Oh yeah, 4 of them right there in the top, on the top line there.
Whoa, blocking there for Chuck McClure to stall out that line, and that's really going to stack up the inside line. And it did not work. The pink Fords cleared to the front. Brian Lovell will go to the lead. Denny Carroll will follow him into 2nd place. Maybe a little too early to be throwing blocks like that, especially with the fact there were only 2 of the silver Chevrolets up here. Fortunately, Jeffrey Elliott let Chuck McClure back in, but certainly didn't do anything to stall momentum. And here come the evil blues.
Yep, right on the outside.
Now, of this group, up here at the front of the evil blues, Ken Roberts, Kelly Causey, and Rodney Sullins have led laps. Keep an eye on the 880. I believe he is the 4th car in line. Let's see if they try and do a little finagling to get him a lap led. If that's the case, that would be 4 of the Evil Blue drivers that have led a lap. Correction, John. Who am I trying to say there? John Godfrey. He is the 3rd car in line there in the 880.
Wow, can't even get the names right.
I can't. I could have adhered to what you used to do, the Gilbert Godfrey joke.
He still exists.
One thing I noticed was further back towards the rear of the field, the black Chevrolets, the defending champions in the last team event, they were lined up. They're a little bit broken up, and they're just kind of hanging back there. I wonder if that's by design. We talked about it in the early going tonight about maybe teams just hanging back, waiting for the chaos to unfold. I think right now, at least, with their positioning, that's what Team Black Chevrolet is doing. Got another of the pink Fords. That's Dan Lovell, kitty corner to his teammates. Boxed out by the silver Chevys on the inside line. And all 4 of these blue Chevrolets up at the front, they might get themselves cleared of the inside line. I think 3 of the 4 are clear.
No, it's so far it looks to be just 2 of the 4.
Rodney Sullins and John Godfrey still
About
trying
another
to get
lap and a
themselves
half.
cleared there. Oh, that was close.
Do you think they'd want to get that other pink Ford cleared too, so they can all drop down?
Not sure what sound I just made right there, but
Oh, I lied. Never mind.
no, that didn't work. Rodney Sullins wasn't clear, and he's going to get spun, and we got another big wreck. Oh, they're still wrecking there. Oh, my gosh. Looks like at least one member of every single colored team involved. I see a Honda, I see a Firebird, I saw a Dodge.
What happens when you're not quite clear?
Yep. Rodney Sullins cut it close, but was not clear of the pink Ford to his inside. Got McClure's got damage on the back end of his number 81. As the field picks up the pace car on the back straightaway. Well, no doubt everybody's going to be back down pit road again here. They were about 9 laps away from when they were going to have to potentially make a round of green flag pit stops as we go back here to turn 3. At Rodney Sullins, I think his day could be over. It's a lot of damage on his car. One of the gold Dodges has a lot of damage. That is, I think, Graham McDonald in the 662 that I see. Like I said, at least one representative of every manufacturer was involved. I believe that the Honda that I saw involved was the Makarsky, I think. Or Mike Mangialardi, actually, I think.
So this is going to be interesting for them to come down pit road here. It's going to be another, 19 laps? We should put them on, 49, almost 50? Should be the last pit stop for them if they have to do it under green.
Oh, wow. 662 of Graham McDonald came flying in there. He never slowed.
He might have a brake problem.
Where a big deal of the damage for Rodney Sullins came from. 333 and the 335 for Team Red. Involved in that one, Nate Balser and Alex Moe. Get a better camera shot here of what happened there in turn 2. Might not be able to get a great camera shot. Brian Lovell in the 72, I believe, was the pink Ford. Collected up right there as he bounces off of the 70. And straight up into Chuck McClure. There you see the wrecking further back. One of the silver Chevrolets was in that. I think that might have been the 84 of Craig Hagley. One of the black Chevrolets involved further behind this incident. And like I said, one of the orange Hondas spun down towards the inside wall off of turn number 4. believe that was Mike Mangialardi. We'll double check on that. Nope, it was Pat Makarski in the 446. Here's a look at it here as he's going to try and avoid. That was McClure that he was trying to avoid. And he just kisses that Armco barrier with the left front.
Still trying to get going here.
665 of Outlaw filling in tonight in
Yeah, I see
one
he's
of the
out.
Dodges. Yeah, he's out of the race.
Right behind the wall.
Not sure what for. Looks like from first glance he got through the wreck. We'll try and see if we can document what happened to him here to take him out of the race early. Oh, wreck under pacing. It stayed out on the first lap of caution and... Oh, was he having a problem? He ran into the back of the
connection?
81 of Chuck McClure.
Oh, you're talking about
Outlaw.
Outlaw, yeah. I don't know. It's very
That
possible
was
he could
odd.
have damaged his car pretty good.
Either I'll give the benefit of the doubt that maybe it was a hardware issue, but it almost looked like he was gunning for the 81 of McClure.
Well, let's hope not.
Let's hope not, yeah.
Had he had been, if he would have gotten in trouble for that, we would have seen that as a different graphic for retiring.
Yeah, more than likely. Yep, would have seen it probably as an ejection. Let's see if we can do a helicopter cam here. So it looked like he was coming to pit road, and then he decides, no, he comes come back up on the racetrack. He begins to increase his speed, maintain his position. I think one of the silver Chevrolets went around him. He would have been able to pass them, keep the position he was in. And I'm going to watch the speed telemetry. He's at 161, 162. He's slowing. Well, I don't know. We'll leave that up to the fans to decide, I guess, but he was braking when he got up there to the field and to Chuck McClure. So we're going to let that one lie where it is. Seeing the footage, you can draw your own conclusion. But Outlaw is out of the race. And that means that the gold Dodges are going to be down a man, as are the pink Fords. Both Outlaw and Greg Lovell retired. 38 drivers remain, as looks like Steven Brandstetter stayed out to get himself a lap lead there for Team Honda. Coming to pit road, looks like he's going to have at least one, maybe two of his Honda teammates coming down pit road with him. That will turn the race lead back over to Ken Roberts, as Evil Blue is going to restart first, second, and third. Saw Rodney Sullins just before we came back from the replay transition on pit road. They removed the back bumper, sent him back out there. He's still on the lead lap. Jury is out on how up to speed he's going to be. Chuck McClure is also still out there despite his damage, trying to keep things going for Silver Chevrolets. And Graham McDonald, who I'm certain got a bunch of front end damage with the hard hit into Rodney Sullins, he's still out there for the gold Dodges. All 38 drivers that remain on the racetrack are on the lead lap as we're getting ready to cross the halfway threshold here at Talladega Superspeedway in the Haunted Team event.
Yeah, but he's just trying to go and get up there. All these cars all over, Seth. Pit stops jumble everything up. Got a lot of the blue, those Evil Blues up front still, so the pit stops paid off for them. But right now, you got one mired back deep pack. But Seth, those gold Dodges, look for them to find that third lane.
Well, it's going to take a while for them to find it, because I see three of them all lined up on the bottom of the racetrack
and
there.
you can tell me right now that they're not going to find the top lane.
That's true. Especially with all the shuffling we're going to see again here on this restart.
Now, here's a question. Does the 884 let the top lane come in?
Good question. Or on the flip side, does the 880 let the 884 and the 883 up if they want to maybe run the second groove?
Depends on who the leader is here, which is the 884. So we'll see what happens when they get this restart.
And your favorite Cup driver, Joey Logano, coined it the okie dokie. And a lot of drivers, even if they're not teammates, if they're good friends and like drafting with each other, they will pull that off in Superspeedway racing. But I think it'll be more prevalent here tonight if you've got team colors up together, able to work with each other on restarts like we see right here. Ken Roberts, John Godfrey, Kelly Causey for Evil Blue, the top three. Dan Lovell and Denny Carroll up there for Team Pink on the outside line in 4th and 6th. Jeffrey Elliott right now, the lone silver Chevrolet in the 5th position inside of the top 5. Green flag set to come back out as they make their way through the tri-oval. And we're halfway home in tonight's event.
Well, nobody got down or up yet, so let's see what happens. Oh, there they go. On the 83, wanted to slide in.
With that lap led for Ken Roberts, he's now tied with Robert Breedlove for most laps led here tonight. 3 of the Evil Blue Chevrolets have led a lap. Oh, we got a car that's blowing up in the middle of the pack.
It was a red car. It was a red Pontiac.
Yep, one of the Thunderbirds. No caution as of yet. That's Keith Bynum in the 332.
There's the caution.
Yellow flag is now out, more than likely for debris. Well, that's amazing. That was in the middle of the back straightaway. Amazing that everybody was able to avoid him. That's a tough blow for the Red Thunderbirds. The Pontiacs now are going to be short a man as Bynum brings it to rest down the apron of turn number 4. And now, Michael, what do you do?
Well, you were just on pit road, so I don't really see him coming in to top off. So
unless maybe you're at the back.
True. So I don't know. It's going to be hard to tell, honestly.
Notice as they were braking, Robert Breedlove. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to look at the spoilers, the back of the spoilers of the Thunderbirds. But on the back, at least, of Breedlove's car, it said 336. 6 spelled S-I-C-K-S.
Interesting.
Kind of like Bugs Bunny maybe did the writing for the spoilers for the Pontiacs.
Perhaps.
Well, let's pit road's open. Let's see if anybody ends up coming down pit road here. And if they do not, we'll then jump to the replay, see what happened on the back straightaway. Pink Fords might be coming down. One of them did. One of them did not. Interesting there. They split off on strategy. No lucky dogs. Everybody was on the lead lap as we'll go back and see what happened here with Keith Bynum in the 332. Had a couple of cars behind him as he jumped up to the 3rd lane. Right there. Engine expires right in front of one of the black Chevys. Orange Honda, a couple of the white Dodges, and one of the blue Chevrolets, the Evil Blue Chevrolets, having to avoid. Nobody involved in a wreck there, but the caution coming out due to debris being dropped on the racetrack for the engine failure for the Pontiac. A number of drivers around the second half of the field come down pit road.
Just as you said, in the back, coming down the top off.
Well, we've kind of given our assessment of what a driver does out there on the racetrack in this kind of event. Why don't we kind of go to the source? Let's see if we can maybe nab one of the Evil Blue Chevrolet drivers. See if we can get 3rd place running John Godfrey. Hey, John, Michael and Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got a moment to talk?
I do, fellas. How you doing?
Well, it looks like right now, Team Blue working very well together. 3 of your guys have led laps. Ken's about to take the most laps led bonus point for the moment here. You've been able to establish track position, but you've kind of lost one of your drivers in Ronnie Sullins. You're trying to get that other one up there in Greg Palmer. How much communication goes on in this race? Because we've talked about it here, but obviously we're not down there in the Lions Den. Explain to everybody at home what goes into the communication to be able to have everybody running all together.
Oh yeah, we're burning up the radio channels here, Seth. It's a lot of strategy.
Yeah, it seems like you guys are running pretty good out there. Do you guys think about any type of like manufacturing teammate up until the last couple of laps here? You know, I've seen the Fords working with the Pinks working with the Golds, and vice versa, and cars running out there. Have you guys managed to secure any type of manufacturer teammates out there?
No, we're pretty much keeping to ourselves right now, and I imagine the closer we get to the end of this thing, it's going to be dog eat dog. So it'll be on then. I hope you boys haven't put the broadcaster jinx on us by spotlighting us here.
I may or may not have caused the first big one, but you know we're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
John, obviously, right now positioned as you were the third car in line on the last restart. If you guys are letting that 884 up, you'll be the third car in line here. Explain to everybody at home, like, the job of being that last car in line, because as I stated, I've been in a couple of these team events, and usually that last car in line for the respective team usually has to be the call-out guy for where the runs are coming from the other team cars.
Exactly. You think you'd be safe 3-4 cars back, but no, you're the spotter for what's running up on the high side, low side, where they're making their moves and adjusting accordingly, and hope that you get your whole team in front of that run safely without getting broken up and scattered.
Well, John, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. I know that, as you said, radio channels are probably lighting up, so we'll let you get back to it and get back to work.
Thank you, boys.
Godfrey going to be restarting, it looks like, in the 4th position. As Ken Roberts, at least right now, early indication is he's going to take the inside line. And they'll probably let him up in a moment once we go back green to get those blue Chevrolets lined up once again.
No doubt about it.
Working our third caution of the evening here. 2 incidents for Rex. The most recent caution coming out for the engine expiration for Keith Bynum. Bynum is one of 3 drivers out of the race at this point. Keith Bynum for the Firebirds, Outlaw for the Gold Dodges, and Greg Lovell for the Pink Fords. As lights are out, so we're going to go back green. Lap 39 will go on the board. So we shift the fuel window up a little bit, puts these drivers coming to pit road potentially for the final pit stop of the evening somewhere around the lap 58 mark. We put them around 7-8 laps left to go.
Give or take.
Silver Chevrolets. They're pretty close to each other right now. Jeffrey Elliott was kind of the lone Silver Chevrolet up until this most recent restart, but Bobby Farrell and Mark Paglia, who we saw spun around in the trial with the first caution, they're now up inside of the top 10, going to restart side by side, or actually kitty corner to each other. Farrell will be on the inside of row 4, and Paglia will be on the outside of row 5. White Dodges trying to build some momentum after the early retirement, or the early issue, I should say, for Gary Mingus. Got Tom and Bob Dixon in 10th and 11th. Gary Mingus is now up to 16th after he got the lucky dog with the first caution.
Working his way back up.
Yes, he is. Pink Fords right now have Denny Carroll up here towards the front in 6th position. You got to go back outside the top 10 to 13th and 14th to find Randy Waugh and Brian Lovell. You missed a Waluigi moment. I can't believe it. Getting ready to go back green. Here we go. Do we settle down a little bit here? We've worked 3 cautions.
I don't know, Seth. It's interesting to say. We're past halfway, so it's starting to get crunch time, especially for those that were hanging out in the back. So look for them to start finding their teammates.
And Roberts, 884 for the Evil Blue Chevrolet Camaros, gets us back under the green. See if the okie dokie has worked out for him to maybe jump up and pick up his teammates there.
Would be right now.
Got another teammate back there, the 882 of Greg Palmer on the inside line, trying to work his way up to the front. Palmer and Godfrey are the 2 blue Chevrolets that have not led a lap yet. With his inside line momentum, Jeffrey Elliott got a teammate 2 cars back in Bobby Farrell, but they're split by the 336 of Robert Breedlove, who has been by far the best driver for the Fireburst. Oh, we got a wreck. I just saw one, I think, of the silver Chevrolets go around in the middle of the pack. Caution is out again. And I think we just had a flip.
Told you things are going to start to heat up a little bit.
They definitely did. I think it might have been the 81 that went around of Chuck McClure. Start that one. I think it was a silver Chevrolet. Not 100% certain on that, and I'm not certain who the car was that I saw that was potentially upside down. A yellow flag out again. Driver's trying to maybe settle into a rhythm, but a couple of quick yellows as we go back to turn number 4.
You see that wreck coming off the corner.
I don't actually think it starts with Chuck McClure. He was behind it. Oh, it's actually one of the Pontiacs gets hooked. 334 of Josh Slocum gets hooked by the 74 of Dan Lovell. Dan was trying to go from top to bottom. He was not clear, and Slocum was the car that I saw upside down for a brief moment. 444 collected there for the orange Hondas. Andrew Miller. One of the yellow Dodges there. Doug Hulick in the 663. One of the black Chevrolets, Garland Oaks in the 50 was involved.
Wasn't that big of a big one.
Yeah, compared to what we've had.
Yeah, for real.
Not nearly as big as the other ones have been. A look from the 54 of Dan Hubbard Jr. Boy, that's a wild ride there for Josh Slocum. Looks like another of his teammates there. The 335 was collected up. Alex Moe. 667. You got a couple of, or actually 3 of the Gold Dodges that were involved. We already talked about Hulick, but I believe that also involved were the Graham McDonald and Doug Hulick machines.
Tough breaks, honestly, all the way around.
Everybody involved is trying to continue on, but we'll have to see how up to speed they're going to be.
You got to remember, I'm the one person that doesn't do it very much online, but you never know who's going to wreck next and how many cars are going to retire. So every point matters.
I mean, things. Oh, someone just blew up here under caution. One of the pink Fords.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Denny Carroll.
Wow.
And one would have to think, I know obviously we're not working the points. There is maybe a mathematical chance that there is still a possibility, but you would have to think with already the retirement of Greg Lovell, if Denny Carroll is out of the race now, that's almost the nail in the proverbial coffin, I would think, for Team Pink to be able to win the event here tonight. I mean, they'd have to probably finish first, second, third, the remaining 3.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get difficult.
Tough break there for Denny Carroll. He was running in 6th at the time that his engine expired. Well, we're going to take a quick break here for a race break, and then we'll be back to the action, working our 4th caution of the night here for the Talladega Nights Haunted Team event. Don't go anywhere. You're going to continue to see coverage, and we'll be back to broadcast action right after this. Coverage of tonight's broadcast will resume right after this FRN race break. If you enjoy what you're watching tonight, be sure to give this video a like. Also, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that subscribe button, and be sure to hit the bell to be notified when we go live here on the Flatout Racing Network. Coverage of tonight's broadcast will resume in just a few minutes. Hope you continue to enjoy tonight's presentation. Green flag set to come back out. Lap 44 will be on the board when we get back under green. 23 laps to go. Ken Roberts and the Evil Blue Chevrolets continue to dominate this race up to this point. Ken has led 20 of our laps so far this evening. Only other driver that slid double digits was Robert Breedlove, who's still up there in the 5th position, but not many of his Pontiac Firebird teammates to be found. Got a couple more of the blue Chevrolets up on the top side there, and Kelly Causey, John Goffrey, not too far back is Greg Palmer. Michael, if you're the blue Chevrolets, as long as you're ahead of it, you're loving these cautions because it's more laps that you're spending out in front.
Absolutely. Less gas, too. Don't forget that.
Yep, that's also a good point. I was kind of thinking about that during that race break, of the fact that We got drivers that keep coming to pit road under these caution periods while the blue Chevys stay out. Whoa, we got one that almost spun back there, one of the white Dodges at the back of the pack. He saved it, Tom Dixon. I don't know what was going on there. He was down below the yellow line, then shot right back up towards the outside wall, but doesn't look like he hit it. But yeah, I'm looking back, and it looks like maybe the gold Dodges and maybe the orange Hondas, they're playing the strategy of come down pit road every single caution we get. They don't have the track position right now, but my projections has them at least being able to make it to the point of no return, lap 62. If they catch a caution at the right time, they could maybe coast and make it the rest of the way. Whereas we know for certain that the blue Chevrolets, they're going to have to pit at least one more time.
Yep, and that's what's going to make it very, very interesting is one more pit stop to the end. Nothing guaranteed, so we're going to see who's going to play the right strategy.
Jeffrey Elliott out in front with a big push from Robert Breedlove. Also got a teammate down there on the inside line in Mark Paglia. Then one of the pink Fords down the inside line, and I believe that is Randy Waugh in the 71. And then he's got another of the silver Chevrolets on that inside line, fifth on the inside line. That's Craig Hagley. We've actually got 4 of the silver Chevrolets up here. You've got also the 82 up there on the top side of Bobby Farrell. So
kind of all split by one car. Man,
yeah,
these cars are really moving around.
Now, granted, they're not able to work together right now because they're all split apart, but if you can get at least 4 of the 5 silver Chevrolets finishing up inside of the top 10, you'd have to think that's certainly going to give the blue Chevys a run for their money in the overall calculation of points.
Absolutely. Now, Seth, I'm noticing, I don't know if it's side drafting or if it's just a tight race car, but that second red Pontiac there seems to kind of push up a little bit in the corners. That's kind of breaking the inside lane's momentum a little bit.
I think that's setup and lack of grip there off that
Oh,
car.
the
Up that
82
turn.
has a chance to get down behind his teammate, but will
Is
he
he
take
gonna
it?
do it? Doesn't look like it. Bobby Farrell gonna stay up there on that top side with the blue Chevrolets. And sometimes that's gonna wreck one of the gold Dodges is around.
Into the other one.
And a couple more of the gold Dodges there. I saw an orange Honda in it. Caution is out, 5th time tonight.
I think they're still racing back.
That's the 662, one of those yellow Dodges. The 667 might have been the other, Ray Hewlick and Graham McDonald.
Breaking up a little bit. Are they racing back or are they kind of just coasting?
No, I think they're coasting. I think it's frozen field still. Steven Brandstetter might have been that orange Honda that I saw get a piece of it. Maybe it was Pat McCarskey actually in the 446. He's a ways back here too. Maybe it was a couple of the orange Hondas as Ken Roberts leads us back to the start finish line. He'll look to pick up the pace car on the back straightaway. Let's take a look at what happened here. One of the gold Dodges, I'm not sure which one initially it was, might have been the 662. Graham McDonald. Off of turn 4, going into the front straightaway. And nothing untowards there. Oh, little bumper grab. Couldn't tell which one of the gold Dodges it was that McDonald bumper grabbed off of, but they went up at the one big hit right there. That was one of the silver Chevrolets. Who was that? Was that McClure? Yeah. Big hit for Chuck McClure into Graham McDonald. If we could pinpoint which gold Dodge it was that McDonald had the bumper grab off of, and it looks like it might have been Chris Van Vliet. Doing the filling in here tonight for, I believe, Javier Negron. Yep, there's the bumper grab. He gets some pretty good damage, does Van Vliet. There's Pat McCarskey. He was indeed the Honda that I saw caught up in it. Oh, and then a big shot right there. Chuck McClure into the 662 of Graham McDonald. Thing not looking good for the Pink Fords as they've lost 2 drivers so far tonight. Things equally not looking all that great for the Gold Dodges as they've been involved in quite a number of the incidents here tonight. I believe at least every one of their drivers has been collected up in some wreck here this evening. As now a number of them are going to pull the strategy of staying out. Although they might be on pit road the next time by. Have to wait and see. I mentioned about that it was looking like a pretty good tussle between the blue Chevrolets and the silver Chevrolets there on that last run. I've already talked with one of the drivers from the blue Chevrolets. Let's see if we can dial up one of the drivers from the silver Chevrolet team. Let's see if we can talk with Mark Paglia. Hey Mark, Michael and Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got a moment?
I sure do.
Well, I'll tell you what, evening didn't start out the way you expected, I'm sure. Spun around there in the tri-oval, but you fought back. Silver Chevrolet's looking pretty good here. Had about 4 of you up inside the top 10 on that last restart. A couple of you have had to kind of mount some comeback runs. How tough was that to cut through the field, get back up there with your respective teammates?
Well, I'd like to say it was easy, but it wasn't. So, yeah, I got behind some good people, and I had some good people behind me, and we got through it. We got these 4 blue Chevys up here that are a tough group, too. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see. You know, I've seen the Chevys kind of broken up a little bit here. What's the strategy to try to get them all, to get you guys nose to tail for this last run?
Well, I just got to try not to wreck and just make sure you stay clean. I don't know if you can have any real strategy or anything. The only strategy besides winning is to keep these blues Chevys apart from each other because they are a tough group, and once they line up, they're a trick to deal with.
Saw something interesting on that last run as well. We saw that 3 of you were down on the inside line and 1 of you up on the outside line. There was a brief moment where it looked like that car up on the top could move down to the inside line and get you guys somewhat formulated up together, but elected to stay up there on the top side. So is there something going on there where you're trying to see if you can control both lanes, just find some way to keep all of you up inside of the top 10, even if you guys aren't nose to tail necessarily with each other?
Well, I could tell you and Michael, but then I'd have to kill you. Yeah, there's a strategy there.
Yeah, we don't want you to give away too much, obviously,
Yeah.
with it being a team race and everything. But, I mean, obviously, from what it sounds like, a lot of communication going on with you guys here as well. It was looking like maybe it was going to turn into a fuel strategy race for you guys. This caution, I assume, has you guys good to go the rest of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. We're ready. I think I'm 2 or 3 laps to the good here, so fuel shouldn't be a problem. Just staying clean and making some good decisions at the end.
Well done on working your way back up through the field after the early issues. Those silver Chevys looking like they're definitely going to be giving the blue Chevrolets a run for their money, and we may see some other manufacturers come into the mix here in the late going. Mark, we'll let you get back to work. Appreciate taking the time to talk with us.
All right, Michael, Seth, thanks, man.
Yeah, they won't. They're so secretive. They won't even tell the broadcasters.
Nope, not at all.
Which I do not blame them for. Keep it under your hat. Keep the strategy out of the public ears. Because I'm pretty certain that probably there's a few of the drivers out in the field here tonight that are tuned into our coverage here on FRN that would love to be able to steal a couple of secrets, have some strategy against those silver Chevrolets, and they're not going to give anything up. Well, if you just joined us, we appreciate everybody tuning into the Flatout Racing Network's coverage of the Talladega Nights Haunted Team event. We're working our 5th caution of the evening. 4 drivers back in the garage area: Denny Carroll, Keith Bynum, Outlaw, and Greg Lovell. 2 drivers out of Team Pink, 1 driver out of Team Red, and 1 driver out of Team Gold. 36 drivers remain, all 36 on the lead lap as they all jump to inside and outside for this respective restart with the lights out atop of the pace car. For everybody that's tuned in tonight, we appreciate you tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying our coverage here. If you are, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing. We are going to be covering, starting in November, the Shake and Bake series for the Talladega Nights. So be sure to tune in for that. I believe our first broadcast will be coming to you guys on Saturday night, the 7th, if I'm not mistaken. No. The 4th. Saturday night, the 4th of November. We'll bring you coverage of the...
Saturday's the 4th?
According to what my calendar is showing me, yeah. November 4th is a Saturday.
Oh, well, yeah, it is.
Sure to tune in for that, as we'll be covering the entire season, right down to the championship race. Chris Van Vliet in the 664 is going to be the one to lead us to green. I'd have to double check back, but I believe he's the first of the gold Dodges to lead here tonight. Nope, that information's incorrect. Rand McDonald and Ray Hewlett Jr. have also led laps for that respective team, so he'll be the third of the gold Dodges to lead a lap here tonight. We talked earlier about bonus points being very important, and one would certainly have to think that with Outlaw out of the race and Graham McDonald, Ray Hewlett Jr. now pretty good damage from the last incident, the other remaining gold Dodge driver is going to have to rise to the occasion and try and gain back points that could be lost for damaged and potentially off the pace teammates. Inside line is going to be Steven Brandstetter for the orange Hondas. About the furthest we've seen a Honda up at the front for a start and or restart, as green flag back in the air. It's going to be 15 laps to go here at Talladega Nights Superspeedway.
And those orange Hondas are just scattered all over the field. Oh, there it goes, right there, big one. And that's going to take out a lot of cars.
Oh, gosh. We got one up, two up in the air.
Oh, they almost
three,
cleared the
four
track.
up in the air. Oh, and now we've got a couple of the Dodges glitched together. Ray Hewlett Jr. is in the infield. One is up on the Armco barrier upside down. I can't make out which Dodge that is. Now it comes back to rest. That was the
Hewlett.
662.
That was Hewlett.
Graham McDonald lands back down on all four wheels. Chuck McClure, I think, was the gray Chevrolet that I saw up in the catch fence.
Oh, look at us. A lot of these black Dodges are probably done.
A lot of the Chevrolets there. Ulysses Sandoval, the team leader
Like
for
I
the
said,
black
Dodges,
Chevrolets.
I meant to say black Chevys, my bad.
Garland Oaks. A lot of damage on him.
Kelly Causey. We saw some of the evil blue Chevys involved in that. Like this one right here. Rodney Sullen's involved in it, probably. A lot, and the remaining of the pink Fords are involved in it too. So I think their bid to win this race is over.
Like the 74 of Dan Lovell, either that car was up and over, or may have had a car on top of him.
Smoking up
oh yeah,
here.
I just saw that. Yep, 45 on the apron, front straightaway.
Chuck McClure, big time involved.
Brian Lovell, maybe one of the last remaining of the pink Fords on pit road. Would
Bobby
have to
Farrell
assume
looks
he
like
was
he
involved.
has some damage in this too.
Yep, you're correct. Back end damage on the 82. Might be easier to name off who wasn't involved. Gary Mingus has got damage on the left side and rear.
Randy Waugh, I think, might be damaged too.
Bob Dixon, I think all the white Dodges were involved in this.
Yeah, Mingus involved in it too. Randy Waugh, I mean, okay, maybe from second glance doesn't look like it, but I think it's better to just go back and look and see what happened.
Yeah, I think you're right. Drop back, take a look at a replay of how this started. We caught the tail end of it.
Front. Big time started up front.
Have to assume maybe around the Kelly Causey
wait a
machine.
Minute. I wonder if something might have happened to Kelly Causey because he just randomly started slowing down.
Maybe another engine failure?
Yes, it was. Because right as he started turning, you'll see the smoke come pouring out of that 883, and that's not tire smoke.
Focused on him right now. Got 82 right behind him. Yep, exactly right. And just look at the carnage. Oh, you got the 333 up on his roof. There was that Bob Dixon, I think, flung up into the air. I think he and Chuck McClure were the two that went
Oh
flying
my
up above
lord!
the
Look at all
catch
these
fence.
cars up on the roof. 333.
He had a couple of the
72.
gold Dodges that were merged together.
Holy crap! That 47 just up in the air over the catch fence.
Take a look at the Bob Dixon machine here. What happens to him is almost gets through, gets clipped, and then watch right. Oh, actually, correction. That was not Bob Dixon that went up into the air. That was Tom Dixon. That was the 43, but it was the 45. But you see Bob get the damage there after contact with one of the orange Hondas.
Oh, the 84 slid through that.
Find Tom. There he
I need to
is.
ride with somebody. Let's pick somebody to ride with here for me, at least on my end. I'm gonna ride on
It wasn't
board
even
with
Tom
Craig.
Dixon. It was 47 of Mingus. I got the raw white Dodge twice. There you see right in the forefront of your screen. There's the 667 and the 662 up on the elevated infield there.
Craig Hagley got real lucky there. I mean, he pushed somebody into it, but he got real lucky to not have not been involved in it himself. But I counted at least 2 of the evil blue cars involved. Maybe 3.
Oh, you see right there, that was Gary Mingus in the 47. He actually got flung off of Graham McDonald and into Chuck McClure. Then they went up into the catch fence. McDonald comes down and he gets the 667 of Ray Hewlick Jr. Blings Hewlick Jr. up onto that elevated infield, and himself was up there for a moment, but then kind of seesawed back down onto the racing surface.
We're gonna get a restart under 10 to go, Seth. And how many teams still have almost their full cars out there? Because those are the teams that have
After
a shot
this
at
wreck,
winning.
none. I don't think. Maybe the orange Hondas. I don't think
No, there
any
were
of them are
orange Hondas
super
involved in
badly
that wreck.
Yeah, but they weren't super badly damaged. I don't think. They might have been. They might have been. But if I'm looking at all the drivers involved up to this point, I think that the orange Hondas might be in the best shape. There's a lot of drivers back in the garage area now after this one. We still got cars sitting on pit road. Right now, the official drivers that have gone to the garage area include Nate Balser for Team Red, Brian Lovell for Team Pink, Tom Dixon for Team White. Chuck McClure is just now retired for Team Silver, Graham McDonald and Ray Hewlick Jr. for Team Yellow. So that is 3 of the Team Pink cars back in the garage area. Pretty safe to say they're not winning the team championship tonight. 3 of Team Gold, they're back behind the wall, so pretty safe to say they are not going to be winning the championship. You've got 1 of Team Silver, 1 of Team White, and 1 of Team Red at this point in time. And we've seen quite a number of engine failures here tonight. Kelly causing the most recent, but we also saw Denny Carroll have an issue with an engine expiring under pacing, and Keith Bynum brought out the 3rd caution of the night with an engine expiration on the back straightaway. So it's hard to tell what's leading to these engines blowing up. The one for Causey might have maybe been an early upshift, but I don't know. There's no consistency, it doesn't seem, between the 3 engine failures we've seen so far to be able to pinpoint a specific reason.
Just NR random blow.
Could be. Could very well be. Well, Chris Van Vliet, he doesn't want to think about the fact that Team Gold is probably not going to win this team championship. He's probably now just out there to win this race. And that's another thing, too, because you realize with the mentality, well, we're not going to win the team race. Every man for himself. I'm going to try and go out there and get this checkered flag. I mentioned the fact that I had won a team race. There was another team race I was a part of where I think one of our drivers had a connection problem and fell out, never came back. 2 drivers were involved in a wreck. So myself and I believe it was Billy Elliser, we were part of Team White Dodge, and we basically just worked with whoever we could work with to get the best finish possible because we knew we weren't going to win the team championship. So while it's tough on one side for a driver, knowing that you're not going to win the overall thing, kind of allows them to turn the reins loose here and be aggressive and try and see what they can do against the other team cars to just nab that checkered flag.
Hey Seth, on a bit of a lighter note here, I've got a bit of a riddle for you.
Go for it.
What's normal at 3 p.m. but terrifying at 3 a.m.?
Lunch?
No, the sound of the ice cream truck.
I've had the ice cream truck come down my road at 8 o'clock in the morning one time.
Who wants some ice? Oh, you want ice cream for breakfast?
Who doesn't?
Exactly, right?
No, I have to be honest. I've never actually had ice cream for breakfast. If my brain ever told me to do it, I would definitely do it. But I've actually.
Have you ever had pizza for breakfast?
Yes. Yes, multiple times.
What kind of pizza?
Whatever it was the day before.
Most people would go to sausage pizza for breakfast because that's what they used to serve in school.
Question for you: when you eat pizza for breakfast, do you heat it up?
No.
Nope. Same.
I don't even heat pizza up sometimes if it's for lunch.
Yeah. I mean, still got its flavor. It's fine when it's cold.
Yeah, pizza's one of the rare things that you can eat hot and cold and it still be good. You know, a lot of food you'll lose your appetite
flavor.
if it's cold. The flavor and the appetite if it's cold. For instance, like French fries. But what pizza? No, when it's cold, it's still got all the flavor. I love how we just turned this into a pizza conversation.
Let's get our YouTube. Oh, well, we're going to have a caution here, and a lot of cars flipping. Oh, my gosh. Well, I think we're going to get to be able to ask our audience their opinions on cold pizza, because we had a number of drivers jumping up into the air here with a restart stack up. Caution out again.
These camera angles. Yeah, Zach Roberts just didn't get going.
One of the black Dodges.
Zach Roberts.
A lot of damage on
did not get going. And then look, you talked about the orange Hondas. There, a lot of them were involved in this wreck.
Yep. Gonna be hard to figure out. I mean, right now the blue Chevrolets, they were looking like they were in control. They lost Kelly Causey. They've got Greg Palmer up here. They still look like they're in control potentially. Ronnie Sones is actually back up here as well inside the top 10.
Nick, I've never heard of a person heating up pizza in a frying pan.
In a frying pan?
That's what Nick. Yep, Nick just commented that.
That's a new one for me as well. I've never heard of that. Here's a look at the restart stack up. Zach Roberts in the 52, left side of your screen, one of the black Chevrolets.
Ray Heulick with the comment, cold pizza better than the race. Hey, listen, these team races, they get pretty feisty, and it's just one little mistake like that, just not getting going or sleeping on the restart. He could have been in the wrong gear.
Yep, could have been in the wrong gear. You've also got kind of the catch-22 as well going through the field of, okay, this car is damaged, but he's up to speed. This car is damaged, but I think he's off the pace, question mark.
Yeah, I think at this point, Seth, honestly, I think this is going to be the last caution period before I think if a caution comes out again, the race is over.
Yep.
I feel like even though they were involved in the wreck last, I feel like the championship, the overall championship of the race is going to be given to the Evil Blue Chevys. I feel like with all the laps they've had led and the bonus points, I just feel like even with one of them damaged, maybe one of them out of the race, that they'd still accumulate enough points. But that's just speculation.
Well, the thing of it is, they don't have any drivers out of the race. Kelly Causey is still running. He was a lap down, so I think he would end up getting the lucky dog here if he wasn't involved in the wreck.
There's a lot of people involved in that wreck.
Yeah, I know, right? The other two, or the other four, I should say, Team Blue Chevrolets are currently running in 2nd, 4th, 9th, and 16th. So to your point, it's looking like maybe they are the front runners. However, checking back now on the silver Chevrolets, granted Chuck McClure out of the race, but you've got 3 of them up inside of the top 5. Jeffrey Elliott, Mark Pagley, and Craig Hagley, 1st, 3rd, and 5th. So I think it's pretty safe to say we know which line Jeffrey Elliott's going to take on this restart, because you'll get them all lined up nose to tail on the inside line of the first 3 rows.
That's true. Now, the question is though, even if they were to finish 1, 2, 3 for these 3 cars, would it accumulate enough points?
Yeah. Would they counter the bonus points that Team Blue has? I believe we double check. Yeah, the only 2 drivers for Team Silver right now that have led laps are Jeffrey Elliott and Chuck McClure. Mark Paglia and Craig Hagley, yep, they're up here inside the top 5, but they have not led laps yet in this one, and neither has Bobby Farrell, who's going to be back in 18th.
And we're at the point of this race where they can't exactly afford to swap positions
No, correct.
at any point. So, all right, I'm going to switch back to the topic on pizza here real quick.
Okay.
How often have you made your own pizza instead of ordered it?
Never.
You've never made your own pizza?
I've never made pizza.
You never went to the store and bought like a pre-made crust and different stuff like that?
Homemade pizza has not been homemade by me.
Fair. Okay. Because yeah, that's why I wanted to get a stand mixer, because I want to make my own dough.
Ah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing. You should have. Nick says we should try it sometime. Heating pizza in a frying pan.
All right,
what do you do about that?
You bring the frying pan to Martinsville. We'll bring the pizza.
we'll just stop at we'll stop at Papa John's again on the way there.
I want to see Nick get pulled over at the Philadelphia Customs point at the airport for having a cast iron skillet in his suitcase.
I love how he said pulled over. What you gonna do? Is he gonna try to run away on his feet?
Look, I've called it pulled over because
pull over.
Michael, I am 3 for 4 in being pulled aside at airports so far, so I have the right to say the term pulled aside or pulled over.
Yeah,
that's a story that we'll save for another day.
Because you all carry things that look suspicious to TSA. Me, all I carry is clothes. Clothes,
that's
diecast, and occasionally a box full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, yes. Excuse me, sir. You cannot pass through this customs points with your Blue Eyes White Dragon.
To the Shadow Realm with you.
Hey, only Nick can send people to the Shadow Realm, and he's in our chat, so
Nope, it's too late. I activate Slifer the Sky. Slifer, the executive producer.
You're a nerd, you know that?
I am. I'm very much a nerd, especially when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge. Anyways.
We appreciate everybody sitting through our tomfoolery. We're trying to keep you guys entertained here under these pacing lapses.
So you know what we should do, Seth?
What should we do?
Take one last break before we go back green.
All right, sounds good. When we come back, we will be on the final restart of the night. Even if the lights go out atop the pace car this time by, we do have drivers a lap down, and we will be going green where the next flag will end the race. Quick update before we go back to green here real quickly. Josh Slocum in the 334 has had a mechanical problem here under pacing and has retired out of the race. So that is the third of the red Firebirds going to the garage area. So obviously it doesn't look like that team will win the team championship. But as Jeffrey Elliott shows the way, let's jump to that FRN race break, and we'll be back here for the final restart of the night for the Haunted Team event here for Talladega Nights. Coverage of tonight's broadcast will resume right after this FRN race break. If you enjoy what you're watching tonight, be sure to give this video a like. Also, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that subscribe button, and be sure to hit the bell to be notified when we go live here on the Flatout Racing Network. Coverage of tonight's broadcast will resume in just a few minutes. Hope you continue to enjoy tonight's presentation. coverage of tonight's broadcast will resume. Green flag set to come back out here. It's gonna be 6 laps to go. Correction, 5 laps to go when we go back green.
Wow. Okay, then that's a great way to come back to commercial.
But this is the point of no return, and it's looking like right now it's Team Silver Chevys versus Team Evil Blue Chevys. I'm noticing those Hondas, though, all 5 of them still in this race, and 3 of them lined up on that top side. So it might come down between those 3 teams for the championship here tonight.
All right, knock on wood. They made it through the green flag. Let's see if they can make it to the end here.
We do have lap machines, Ulysses Sandoval being one of them, so there would be an extra lap of pacing added on if there were a caution,
That's the
which
only
means
one.
that this
That's the
is
only
the
one
point
right
of
now is
return.
that
Now
53, yeah.
Look at the break. What, 7, 8 cars got away? Everybody else stacked up.
Oh, there's
we
a
got a wreck. That's it. We're racing back. We'll stay with the leaders. We'll follow what happened on the back straightaway after this. How about the Silver Chevrolets? Can they get themselves stretched out to 1, 2, 3 at the line? The 83 is clear. The 80 is working on it with the 84.
I don't think it'll be quite like that, but it's gonna
think
be
so.
close. Oh, they're wrecking.
Oh, hang on.
But they might have got it.
I think it
They
was
did.
Jeffrey
They did.
Elliott who crossed the line first. And yes, 1, 2, 3. Elliott, Paglia, Hagley across the line. Question is, was that enough to counter the blue Chevrolets? Ken Roberts gets 4th. John Godfrey gets 6th. Rodney Sullins in 9th. It all depends on where the other Silver Chevrolet finished, I think. And that would be Bobby Farrell in 15th. Just looking at it right now, Michael, I know the bonus points certainly are going to come into play for the blue Chevrolets, but Silver Chevys might have sniped this. And how about Jeffrey Elliott in an alternate role coming into tonight, filling in for the original driver, Grant Wesley? He's going to pick up that checkered flag.
Gonna be very interesting. I really want to know what is going to come out to be, Seth, but we still got 4 laps. Anything can happen.
That's right. We've had some engine failures under pacing. Don't want to jinx anybody, but we
Well, you
have
just
had
did.
a
Good
couple of
job.
drivers that have had to retire out of the race even while the caution is waving. We've got drivers that are not going to finish out this race either. Pat McCarskey, Gary Heiser, Greg Palmer, and Zach Roberts have all retired out of the race. Greg Palmer's retiring could be what tips the balance in favor of the Silver Chevrolets. Take a look and see what happened.
Oh, I can't get a good angle of it.
Focus maybe on the 44 of Gary Heiser. Yeah, someone gets turned there in the middle of the pack. It's hard to see with the cloud of smoke.
51's 3
Yeah,
wide
there's
here. Oh, okay. It was
contact.
just beating and banging.
Yep.
He was 3 wide. Everyone was just trying to stick with each other at this point. And the 44 came up like he wasn't even there. And then the one orange car was trying to get with his teammates. Is that just right? That was it right there.
44, the white Dodge, Gary Heiser. The 51, the black Chevrolet with Sean Dotson.
A lot of just the black Chevys were all. I'm pretty sure I think all the black Chevys were involved in this wreck, as well as 3, maybe 4 out of 5 of the
Yeah,
orange.
3 of them. Yep.
Yeah, of the. I forgot what.
And you are
manufacturer they were.
correct. Yeah, all remaining 4 of the black Chevrolet drivers were in that. And this was the race back to the line from the aerial view. Going to have a little contact right there with Robert Breedlove trying to force his way up the middle. Gets one of the blue Chevrolets, little loose. I think that was John Godfrey. And that was the difference maker. Ken Roberts then did not have his drafting partner right on his back bumper, and that got Paglia and Hagley clear into the second and third positions.
I don't know what happened to it. That and the red Pontiac left just about spun out the other evil blue car right there.
Right. want to see the other cars in the equation, that being the remaining blue Chevrolet and the remaining silver Chevrolet. They're back here. Greg Palmer and Bobby Farrell, back when this wreck takes place. They're nose to tail here. And, oh, they both just get clipped. They almost avoid. And between these two particular drivers, it's pretty much kind of a race back to the line. Oh, Palmer then tries to correct it back, spins out, and there you see Bobby Farrell go around. And he ends up finishing, I believe, 8 or 9 spots ahead of Greg Palmer.
I found it really. I see her. On a side note, as we're getting through this, I just want to say I see another really good joke I want to tell you, Seth, but you're not going to get it because you've never watched the movie. So.
Okay. I'm so glad that you built me up for that.
Well, then again, I don't know. You've played the video game, so maybe you kind of know the reference. All right, I'll say it anyways. Okay, what do evil spirits sing on Friday the 13th?
I'm not gonna know that one.
Voorhees, a jolly good fellow.
I hate you. Well, eyeballing it right now, I believe that the silver Chevys will probably end up taking the team victory here tonight. Granted, we've got 3 of the blue Chevrolets up here inside of the top 10. 2 of them have led laps. Ken Roberts has led the most laps, so it's really going to come down to those bonus points there as to which one of the Chevy teams is going to win this thing. Pretty safe to say the white Dodges, they didn't have enough to be able to battle. Good valiant effort for Bernie Mobbs and Gary Mingus, finishing in 10th and 12th. Robert Breedlove appeared to really be the only one of the Pontiac Firebirds the entirety of this race that was able to keep in contention, as he'll finish in 5th. And I believe 2 of the orange Hondas are going to finish up inside the top 15. Mike Mangialardi 11th and Steven Brandstetter in 13th place. But Jeffrey Elliott in the number 83 for Team Silver Chevrolet crosses the line. It's a 1-2-3 finish for the Silver Chevys, with Elliott, Paglia, and Hagley crossing the line, sweeping the podium. Right behind them in 4th, 6th, and 9th are the blue Chevrolets. Have to find out with the scoring who is going to be winning this championship. But I would have to think, maybe even despite the fact that they didn't have the bonus points on their side, a 1-2-3 finish could be enough to lock it up.
And I'm trying to remember what the old point system was like.
Well, I know it's 185 for first. I think one.
But that was usually with the bonus points, though.
Oh, was that?
I think so. Hold on, let me see what I got. No, it's not GPPOGLE. Oh my God, okay. I need to stop. I just put an F instead of a G for Google.
Google.
Shut up.
Good performance there for a couple of the last remaining gold Dodges as well. Alternate driver Chris Van Vliet in 7th place, and Doug Hewlick in the 8th position. Remember, their teammates got torn up here in the latter stages of tonight's event, and they were not able to reach the conclusion. I just called Jeffrey Elliott winning the race, and I think he actually took the white flag. I think he's taking the checkered flag this time by.
Good job, Seth.
Gonna be a good team photo for the Silver Chevrolets there. You see him fan out in the victory position with Paglia to the left and Hagley up on the right.
All right, so here's what we got. It is, depending on how old they go, 175 for first place, 170 for second, 165 for third, 160 for fourth, 155 for fifth, 150 for sixth, And then it gets weird. 146, 142, 138, 134, 130, 127, 124, 121, 118, 115, and so on down. 112, 109, 106, 103, and so on down the list.
Well, as you were reading off the points on Goofle, you missed out on something. That might be the first time I've ever seen a driver do burnouts with his tires not touching the ground.
Huh. Oh.
Ken Roberts just sent Jeffrey Elliott up on his roof like a top.
Yep,
That thing's still running, though.
Those are some good donuts on the roof of his car. All right, Seth. So let's try to do some quick math here. Go down the list for silver Chevys.
Silver Chevys. First, second, third, obviously.
Wait, hold on. Let me. I gotta pull up my calculator. All right. So first, second, third. So let's do 175 plus 170 plus 165. Okay.
Sorry, 15th.
That'd be 118.
And 34th.
61. And then how many bonus points? Was it 10?
It would be 10, yes.
So that's overall 699 points, give or take.
699?
Yep, 699 for the silver Chevys. Now let's go ahead and do the others.
Okay.
All right.
Got fourth.
Fourth is 160.
Sixth.
150.
Ninth.
138.
21st.
100.
And 28th.
And 28th.
And that is
plus 79.
Hold on. And then you
And how many bonus points?
That's what I'm figuring right now. You've got 5, 10, 15, looks like 20.
So that would be 647 points.
That still brings them up, what, 50 points short?
Yep.
Roughly?
Just about 52.
And again, folks, we're eyeballing it here. We're trying to figure out to give you an idea of who potentially has won the team championship here tonight. But the series admins, they'll be going and looking post-race at any incidents, any post-race penalties that might be having to be handed out. So,
But as of right now, all of it points to the silver Chevrolets for winning not only the race but the championship too.
Yep, and as I was going to say, if one of the silver Chevrolets ends up getting hit with a NEOL penalty, that drops them down to 24th, and that can definitely tip the scales. But as Michael alluded to there with his calculations, right now it is looking like it is Team Silver Chevrolet going to be winning the team championship here tonight. We're showing you the full finishing results from this one. Obviously, the top three there, all out of the Silver Chevrolet stables. Ken Roberts, the highest finisher of the blue Chevys, the evil blue Chevys, in fourth. Robert Breedlove, the highest of the red Thunderbirds, in fifth. Chris Van Vliet, the highest of the gold Dodges, in seventh. Bernie Mobbs was the highest of the white Dodges in 10th. Mike Mangialardi, the highest of the orange Hondas, in the 11th position. And Dan Lovell was the highest of the pink Fords in 14th position. That pink Ford team took a beating tonight. Highest finishing of the defending champion team, the black Chevrolets, was Sean Dotson, all the way down in 22nd place. So the champs from the previous team event dethroned here tonight. Well, we're going to head into our FRN post-race wind down. We're going to talk with our top three finishers, I was
going to say, should we do it at the same time since it's a team?
We can, but it might be hard to ask questions in order. That's the one thing I'm thinking.
I mean, they're all teams. It's just why don't we just ask team questions?
All right, if you want to do that, we can certainly do that.
I think it'd be different. Yeah, get the whole team up here since we theoretically believe that they've won.
Okay.
Until proven otherwise.
If we can get our top three finishers, Paglia, Hagley, and Elliott. All right, we've got 2 of them. See if we can get the third one here.
I'd help, but I don't have that power.
We're just waiting on that third driver here. We've got Mark Paglia bringing it home second. Craig Hagley, who brings it home in third place. We're waiting on Jeffrey Elliott. But gentlemen, congratulations on a job well done here tonight. I mean, Mark, we talked with you earlier. Obviously, you didn't want to give away any secrets. Did it all work out the way you guys were planning it?
It worked out exactly. I designed it on the board. Everybody got the memo.
There we go. Now we've got our race winner,
Yep,
Jeffrey
got a
Elliott,
whole
here
team
as
in
well. So
here.
we got the whole podium team there for the Silver Chevrolets. Jeffrey, gutsy call there, making moves to try and slice through those blue Chevrolets. Was it just the timing of the yellow that helped out there? You think you had enough car and the teammates behind you to keep the blue Chevrolets at bay?
Well, it was. They were strong on the outside. They would have probably prevailed.
Yeah, it was. It seemed like a pretty fun race,
So,
especially those
sorry,
last
guys, I
couple of
gotta
laps.
whisper. But yeah, they were strong. That evil blue team. They were the cream of the crop tonight. Give it up to them. Hard battle. Mark, Pags, man, and Craig and Chuck in the beginning was just flying. So we were working good together. We just find a way to stay in the race, stay up front, stay out of the trouble. There was a lot of wrecks tonight. Wasn't one of our best team races, but seemed like most of the people stayed in there and hung in there for their team. So I want to thank everybody for doing that. But yeah, man, it was a battle. Of course, it was a lot of yellow, so it kept me up front. And thanks to my teammates, appreciate it.
And yeah, based off, we were doing some calculations up here, based off of the old point system that you guys were basing your positions off of tonight, and it seems like the Team Silver Chevrolets have brought it all home with a 1-2-3 finish. So, congrats.
You guys still there?
Yeah, we're still here. Based on what might happen for the any post race penalties there, you guys, congratulations, and talk to us about that. Like, you guys made it through right there at the
Mark,
end.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
I'm not hearing nobody.
Wonder if he has me muted, maybe.
How about now? Guys?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, I lost you guys. I don't know what happened there. I couldn't hear anything. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, no, it was just me. I don't know if he can hear me or not. Yeah, I don't think he can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, but yeah, so like I said, depending on any post race infractions, it seems like your team pulled off the total victory tonight.
Yeah, I think we worked well as a team. We were scattered out through most of the beginning of the race and maybe even towards the middle, but we worked through those cautions and were able to come with a little bit of pit strategy to get back together. I would still want to give a shout out for our other team member that scored points for us. That was Bobby Farrell. He ended up, I think, 13th or 14th, maybe even 15th. But anyhow, those points really help us.
And of course, too, you have to be good at maneuvering your way through wrecks. And there was one wreck, I believe it was over in 3 and 4, Craig, that you were right in the middle of and able to sneak your way through. I mean, how difficult I know it's obviously difficult when you're just out there running for points for yourself. You want to keep that thing in one piece. But how much more pressure is it when you're in the middle of a big wreck like that to try and make sure that thing doesn't get damaged to be able to score the team points overall?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Make sure, just to be there for everybody else at the end of it. But I'm pretty sure if there'd have been another layer of paint on my car a few times, I would have been taken out for sure. It's definitely been a whole lot different story.
Hey, guys, I'm sorry. I had some technical difficulties there in TeamSpeak. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I apologize, Seth.
Nope, not a problem. I mean, obviously, great run for you guys here tonight. We were seeing the dominance out of the blue Chevrolets, but I was keeping my eye on. I kept seeing you guys creeping your way up there, formulating on those late restarts. Was definitely looking like you were going to give the blue Chevrolets a run for their money. podium finish here tonight for all three of you. I mean, how cool is it to be able to do something like that? I know obviously to win the team championship is one thing, but to be able to sweep the podium overall together, that's got to feel like an even better team win.
Most definitely. I think how that actually took place was Craig coming from what, about 10th spot back there, Craig, and worked your way up there to the cautions and pushed some teammates or some other drivers, and before you know it, we're together. So great job, great teamwork, and thanks to Chuck McClure for spotting for us in a way. And it takes a whole team to win a team race. So I think we all did a great job. We didn't really get into too many wrecks. Well, we three didn't. Did you get in a wreck, Craig?
I got spun around a couple of times, but didn't get damaged too bad.
Okay, before. So yes, Seth, man, it was a battle tonight. So give it up to my Silver Chevy teammates, and I think Silver Chevy team has not won probably in a good year. So give it up to Team Silver Chevrolet.
Well, congratulations to all three of you with the podium finishes here tonight, sweeping the podium for the Silver Chevrolet team. We'll go down descending order of finishes. We'll start with Jeffrey, then go to Mark, and then go to Craig, and let you guys have the opportunity for thank you, sponsors, and shout-outs.
Well, thank you, Seth. First, I'd like to thank all 40 drivers and the alternates that signed up for this race. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming out. I want to give props and thanks to Blaine Donlan, Tarnation TV. Got us started, put us on the map 2 years ago. And of course, you, Seth, coming on board, helping us out, running the Shake and Bake this season this Saturday night. So thank you very much to Flatout Racing and yourself and your crew. And shout out to my brother Chris for hanging in there as well. I don't know how he did, but thanks to who else I want to thank. I love you, Dad. I'm thinking of you. That's all I really have to say, guys. Thanks for covering this race tonight.
No, I'll pick up the baton on that one. I just really want to give a shout out to the guy that's most humble about everything, but puts the most sweat and tears behind this. That's Jeffrey Elliott. Without him, this wouldn't be happening. And thank you, Jeffrey. And thanks, Craig, for being a great teammate with us.
Well, thank you, Mark. Love being teammates with all y'all. And definitely thank you, Jeff, for everything you do here. You go above and beyond on everything, and it's an awesome place to be. And I'm proud to be a part of it. And shout out to my son Lane, and shout out to Grant Wesley, and hope that dirt track race was real good tonight.
Yeah, that's what I want to throw in real quick, Seth. I hope Grant, when you do watch this, man, I hope I did your ride justice tonight, my friend. You're top dog, top notch champion, and I hope I made you proud, my friend.
Well, podium finishes here tonight for Jeffrey Elliott with the win, Mark Pagley and Craig Hagley completing the other two spots. They, along with Bobby Farrell and Chuck McClure, look like they're going to be giving Team Silver Chevrolet the team championship here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. Congratulations to all three of you, and I believe we are now ready for the factoids of the night, courtesy of Mr. Bob Dixon. Bob, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Seth. For your factoids for tonight, the top 5 fastest laps in honorable mention is Sean Dotson. In 5th place is Brian Lavelle. Brian did a 47.767 second lap. That's 200.473 mile per hour, lap 11. And 4th was Greg Hagley. Greg did a 47.758 second lap. That's 200.511 mile per hour, lap 5. 3rd was Ulysses Sandoval. You did a 47.747 second lap. That's 200.557 mile per hour, lap 22. 2nd was Bobby Farrell. Bobby did a 47.742 second lap. That's 200.578 mile per hour, lap 5. Fastest lap of the night is blessed with Andrew Miller. Andrew did a 47.733 second lap. That's 200.616 mile per hour, lap 5. And the most lap sled is Ken Roberts at 25. Then Robert Breedlove at 12. Jeffrey Elliott at 10. Congrats on your win, Jeff. Chris Van Vliet did 8. Chuck McClure 6. Ray Hullock 1. Graham McDonald 1. Rodney Sullins 1. Kelly Causey won, and Stephen Brandstetter won. And that's your factoids of the night. Thank you for hosting this, Seth.
Absolutely. Thank you for the factoids, Bob Dixon. Always great to be able to have those post-race, and appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Well, Michael, absolutely. Well, Michael, a wild one here tonight in this team race, and it kind of looked like we had an idea of who the contenders were going to be in the early going, but as we said, it's a super speedway. Doesn't matter if we're at Daytona, at Talladega, here tonight, Talladega Night Super Speedway. When it's a super speedway, you can never take anything for granted, and all of a sudden, we ended up seeing the silver Chevrolet start to get formed up, start to make moves and get their way up there, battling with the blue Chevrolets. The Hondas tried making a late charge, but got swept up in a couple of those last cautions. A lot of moving pieces when it comes down to just one driver, one car, but a lot more when it comes down to a team race like this.
Absolutely. And it was fun to watch. Glad to be a part of it. And, teammates worked down at the end.
Absolutely. Unique one for us to call up here in the booth. Maybe a unique one for all of our fans tuning in here on our FRN broadcast to see here tonight. Hopefully we're able to keep you guys somewhat aware of everything that was happening. It's kind of difficult to be able to figure out who is ahead, who is behind in terms of points, whatnot. But as we did with the calculations here, courtesy of Michael, it's looking like very easily with the podium finish for all three drivers out of Team Silver Chevrolet. That is the team that is going to win the championship. Jeffrey Elliott, Craig Hagley, Mark Paglia, Bobby Farrell, and Chuck McClure going to be your team champions here tonight in this one. Michael, crazy race here tonight. I know probably along with me, for you, was maybe a little bit difficult to follow, be able to try and figure out who was running where. But man, I appreciate sticking it out with me here tonight for a thriller at Talladega Nights in the booth.
Absolutely. It was fun to be here. It was very fun to watch.
Thanks again to everybody that tuned into our coverage here tonight. If you enjoyed this racing here tonight for the Talladega Nights Series, tune in starting November the 4th. Saturday, November the 4th. Shake and Bake Series for Talladega Nights begins. We're going to be covering the upcoming season for that. Be sure to tune in. Going to have a number of these same drivers out there on the racetrack. And this time, it's every man for himself. There are no team cars that are going to be battling it out. So might be just as crazy, if not maybe crazier. Be sure to tune in this Thursday night where we're going to be bringing you coverage of the continuation of the season down the home stretch, the regular season of season 60 of the RTG Talladega Challenge. And that will be our last broadcast for the month of October. We will then be back with the aforementioned Shake and Bake race on November the 4th. I think. I'm not certain if we're back for the Talladega Nights race the first week of November. I don't think we are.
It depends on what time our flight's back home.
Yeah, so that might be taking place. Not 100% certain. You can tune in on Thursday, see if we are live. If we're not, then obviously we will be live the following week, which will be on November the 9th. For the continuation of the Talladega Challenge for Rolling Thunder Gaming. But once again, thank you all for tuning to our coverage here tonight. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. My thanks to Michael Norman for joining me up here in the booth. And we will see you guys next time as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network will